Holy shit, we have a brand new roll of balance changes on the PTR, and these changes I believe will truly shake up the meta and make for a very interesting discussion. What's up guys, BZK here, hope you're all having a great day. Today I will be briefly going over huge balance changes and what they could potentially mean for Overwatch as a whole. Show your support of the video by dropping a like if you enjoyed. Let's get straight into it. So Ana got nerfed again. Hard. Her bionic rifle now does 60 damage instead of 80 damage. Her biotic nade impact damage was reduced from 60 to 30, and her impact healing was reduced from 100 to 50. I'll summarize everything at the very end of the video. Next up, Junkrat no longer damages himself from his primary fire, his passive Total Mayhem, and his Riptire ultimate. Next, Orisa received her first set of nerfs. Her mag size on her fusion driver was reduced from 200 rounds to 150, and her ult now takes 15% more to charge. Moving on, Winston received another buff. His barrier now starts to cool down when it is placed versus when it is destroyed. Sombra has been buffed again. Her voiceover range when entering and exiting stealth has been lowered to 15 meters, and her translocator cooldown was reduced from 6 seconds to 4 seconds. Oh my. Finally, last but not least, Zenyatta got a pretty major buff. His alternate fire recovery has been changed from 1 second to 0.6 seconds, and his Discord, ready for this, can now pass through barriers. Okay, now let's talk about these for a second. Ana got screwed on this bad, but I like the changes. I do, because it means a few things. One, she'll be more focused on healing than dealing damage. Like, I feel Ana players won't even bother damaging targets anymore just because her role as a support has been solidified and her damage output just isn't what it used to be. I mean, it takes her now 4 shots to kill Pharah. Like, she was a really good player for taking out a Pharah. She could do it pretty consistently, and now it takes an extra shot. I mean, she was dealing more damage as a healer when landing shots than McCree's body shots. Like, that isn't right. That shouldn't happen. So I could see why her damage was nerfed a bit. Her nade was arguably changed a bit much also, but if you've ever flanked an Ana, she would always nade the ground, healing herself while damaging the flanker and preventing heals. And more often than not, she would win the fight due to the 160 HP swing. Like, she would gain 100 HP while the flanker lost 60 HP at the same time. Now she will be even more vulnerable to flankers, so I guess we'll just have to wait and see how the whole thing plays out. Junkrat being immune to his own explosions needed this buff, but I don't think it's significant enough to bring him into the meta. He can now play a bit more aggressively without having to worry about killing himself, and it's definitely a step in the right direction with him for sure, and I don't think he will be as much of a troll pick anymore. I think we'll see a bit more viability with him and a bit more on his pick rate, but again, we'll just have to wait and see. Winston's barrier change was exactly what he needed. Now that players can only pick one of the same hero, the change was warranted and makes Winston's survivability a lot higher. So anyone running a dive comp will benefit from this change pretty substantially. Who knows, maybe this will bring even more Reapers into the meta as well. So if Summer wasn't being picked before, she definitely will be now. Now that Orisa is being added in soon, and with the recent changes to Bastion, she will be a very healthy pick for teams now. She could even mesh pretty well with the dive comps too. I think it's important that Blizzard focused on mobility and disruption for Sombra as opposed to DPS. Now that ZEN can freely discard whomever he chooses, which I'll get to in a sec, hacking that same target makes it easier for focus fire. Personally, I'm excited for Sombra. She is incredibly fun to play. For anyone worried about there being a new quote-unquote barrier meta, Zenyatta says otherwise, because discarding targets through barriers is huge. It means you can set up a team-coordinated focus fire on a specific target whenever you'd like. This means Ryan will now suffer from this change, and guess who damages Ryan through his shield? Winston. Flankers indirectly got buffed from this since ZEN works really well with heroes like Genji, Tracer, and Pharah. So if anything, this would create a more aggressive and action-packed playstyle in Overwatch, and personally, that is more fun to not only play, but watch instead of the slow shield war. Guys, that's all I have for you today. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I personally am very excited. I think this will shake up the meta for the better. I really do. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed. Have a great day. YouTube, as always, peace out.